following article is taken from an anonymous confession type website where you can tell your secrets and remain completely anonymous if you choose to. After posting, people can comment their ideas on how to get better or simply give their condolences and so forth. This article comes from one Esteban Gutierrez in the LGBTQ+ specific section. Here is his story. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Me llamo Esteban Gutierrez. I'm 22 years old, or at least I will be for the rest of my life, and due to my ex-boyfriend, I am now a vampire. Now I know what you're thinking. This guy probably was obsessed with Vampire Knight, Rosario and a Vampire, Castlevania, and Hellsing, and had a boyfriend who was too bitey and gave killer hickeys, and now believes he was turned into a vampire. Next. Honestly, I wish that was the case. I wish I was just going crazy and was just a jaded gay man mad at his ex for leaving. I wish I was in one of those man-hating gay men type groups. However, while only part of that is true, it is 100% confirmed that I am now a vampire. This is the part of my story where I should probably start explaining. We currently live in the year 2021, but I have been a vampire since 1978. Sorry everybody, unfortunately you aren't going to get a vampire who was born and turned in the 1600s. I was your average everyday gay Joe who was just trying to finish his second year of his bachelor's degree program. And as cliche as it sounds, I was going to get a bachelor's in liberal arts. I was in my second winter semester and I had just arrived 30 minutes earlier to my 7:45 p.m. Honors English 201 class. It was the study of Gothic literature, or something to that extent. We read and analyzed the works of Edgar Allan Poe a lot. So, as I'm waiting, I decided to read one of my Stephen King books. I was about to start getting lost in the world of horror fantasy when out of nowhere, an absolutely gorgeous, handsome 6'4" man wearing an all-black outfit, black dress pants with a black polo shirt, stood above my 5'9" being. His name was Fabian. He said hello to me and asked me if he was in the correct building and room number. His deep voice was smooth as silk. His eyes were a piercing light blue, almost white. I should have realized that something was off right there and then, but trust me, this man could turn a straight man gay. He was that handsome and gorgeous. I composed myself and got up and took a look at his schedule and confirmed that he was indeed in the right place. We shot the shit and talked for about 15 to 20 minutes before the rest of the students and the professor arrived. We sat together for orientation, and for the remainder of the semester, we became inseparable. So much so, he became the third person I came out to. I haven't even come out to my parents yet. As the semesters came and went, we slowly developed feelings for each other. He asked me to be his boyfriend, and I immediately jumped at the opportunity. Things were amazing for the first year and a half. Then, he started becoming more aggressive, and not in a good way, the way I liked. He became extremely possessive to the point he accused me of not actually being gay, despite our late night quote-unquote study sessions, because I was best friends with my only friend, Bethany, who I had been best friends with since the 8th grade and was the first one I came out to. Off topic only slightly, but Bethany wasn't what today's society would consider pretty or beautiful, but to me, she was a powerful, beautiful goddess. She was the only one that shared my love of being catty. Ha ha ha. Back to my story. Fabian practically forced me to break off my friendship with Bethany. However, I explained everything to her and we agreed that we could not live without our friendship and that we would always hang out in secret at nighttime after classes. This worked for about a semester until Fabian caught on. My and Bethany's secret hangout was the behind of the local ice cream parlor. He had beat me there and greeted me with the calmest yet most sinister look in his eyes. His gaze pierced mine and suddenly I was frozen where I stood. He ordered me to come closer to him and without warning, my legs started to move on their own. Closer and closer I got to this behemoth of a man. His light blue eyes started to glow a dark red. He smiled that sinister smile and I saw 2 sharp fangs appear. I wanted to scream, but he hushed me and traced my lips with his now ice-cold finger. His razor-sharp nail pricked my nose slightly. He wrapped his hand around my throat and kissed it once. Then, I felt the most painful sensation I've ever felt since. Or well, at least within ... He sunk those 2 fangs into my neck, and I felt like a blacksmith had pressed a red-hot iron to my neck. By the way, the thing about vampires choosing to make their bite pleasurable or painful is also 100% true. He held his mouth there, draining the blood out of my neck. Some of my warm blood dripped down my back, and my vision started getting blurry. I felt my legs give way, and I was slowly lowered to the ground. My breathing became labored, and in my blurred vision, I saw Fabian bite his wrist and put it over my face. I felt thick water drops, almost like corn syrup in a way, touch my lips, and he ordered me to drink. He told me if I ever wanted to see Bethany ever again, I would drink the liquid. So I did just that. I was so blinded by my love and my will to see Bethany, it didn't click. I was now drinking his blood. After less than a minute, he shoved me away and my body felt like it was being crushed by a boulder, and my head was pounding as if someone had taken a literal jackhammer and was pressing it against my temples. My bones felt like they were all being slowly broken one at a time. And then suddenly, blackness. I woke up to Bethany shaking me awake and telling me the ambulance was on its way. As she was talking to me, I couldn't help but stare intensely at her neck. I could see her vein. To make a long story short and wrap this up, I eventually came to the realization of what had happened to me. And, much like me coming out as homosexual, Bethany was the first one I came out to as a vampire. Being the wonderful, amazing woman she was and is, she agreed that she would let me feed off of her whenever I chose to, in order to prevent me from hurting or killing someone else. I have yet to hear from or even see Fabian again. I just hope that whoever is reading this, they stay away from tall, handsome gentlemen named Fabian. Living forever isn't as glorious as it seems.